Hey all, Rob here. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when future videos are out. This topic is if you follow like YouTube channels about, let's say, Ethan Van Sciver, EVS. And, I supported his work years ago, and I still think that he's right in a lot of stuff, but I actually think he's wrong in why is he going after Eric July a lot? And he's going after some other independent comic book creators who again, have their own channel on YouTube trying to promote and make their own stuff. Why is EVS going after these people? When originally, and years ago, he was going after Marvel and DC. And I get it. He was going after a lot of the liberal, a lot of the activism in Marvel and DC, and how it has lost its way. And I get it, I get that. But it seems a lot of his posts, and which is a turn off, it's like he's attacking Eric July, the Rippaverse, okay? And he's attacking some other independent creators, right? And I get posting a video here or there. So I'm not arguing that you can't post a video here or there about certain people or topics, and I get that, okay? But the consistent going after other people, right? I'm talking not Marvel and not DC. I'm talking independent, just solo people, right? Trying to start their own thing or publish their own thing. And to go after them, it's like, it sounds to me, it's like, okay, you made a video or two or more. Why do you have to keep posting about them? Why can't you just leave them alone? Are they bothering you? Okay, if they're bothering you or they're going after you, okay. So I get going after, let's say, Marvel and DC, and I get posting the occasional stuff about other people, independent YouTube or just reviews, right? I get, okay, all of that I get, I understand. But the consistent nature of it, it's like, okay, let's say you responded or attacked them or they attacked you, and there's a back or forth, then you know what, I get it, okay? Again, first of all, I don't know the details of like what he's following or if they're responding back to him, these people, which could then further the exchange. You see what I'm saying? But if the other person, let's say Eric July or whoever he's going after, is not going after you or responding to you, and he keeps going after them, it's like, why are you going after people trying to get their own books published? Shouldn't it be a good thing that other people are making books rather than you trying to turn fans off from following other creators? Independent, You want to attack Marvel DC, fine. But the way to counteract it is to hopefully get other people to make comic books themselves. And then you're going after the people who are making comic books themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like EVS is kind of like, why don't you focus on your own book and get your own comic books out a year? You used to work monthly titles at DC Comics, and you could get a book out every month at DC. So why can't you get at least 4 to 6 issues of Cyberfrog out a year? He's too busy making YouTube videos all the time and going after other people or going after Marvel or going after DC than to shut up and make your own comic book and get it out to the fans and publish it a couple of times a year. But you can't do that. And then you're going after other people who are getting comic books out more than 4 or 5 issues a year. So it's kind of like, hey man, EVS is a pro. He knows how to get monthly comic books out at DC. But when he's independent, how many issues does he produce a year of Cyberfrog? And I'm not talking trade paperbacks. I'm not talking collected editions. I'm not talking action figures. How many actual comic book issues does he get out a year? And from what I've seen, it's not many. So it's like, maybe if you shut up and stop making YouTube videos against others or Marvel or DC and produced more artwork, you get a couple issues out a year. Because if anyone should be able to produce comic books a year, more than a few, it's him. He's an established pro. He's a good artist. He knows how to get stuff done, or at least he did in the past. You know what I mean? It's like he's too busy talking about others than to get his own book out, and other people are actually getting books out. So it's like, why don't you just leave them alone? Does your income derive from talking about these other independent creators? Like, does his income actually get better talking about these independent creators? So why go after them? Like, why? It's like he's trying to dissuade others from following other people. And then I've seen videos where someone like him wants to pick apart the writing or the art of these independent people, right? And it's like, you know what? You're right. These people are not pro level. They're not Marvel and DC level. They're independent people. What do you expect? They're first-time writers, first-time artists. They're new in the business. Are you expecting them to be Frank Miller in his prime? Are you expecting the art to be like Jack Kirby in his prime? Or Todd McFarlane in his prime? Is that what you expect from an independent creator? Are you expecting the writing to be Alan Moore in his prime? Are you expecting the writing to be like Walter Simonson in Thor or Frank Miller in DD? Are you expecting that level of a comic book quality from an independent creator? It's like, I think your standards are too high. These are independent people trying to make their way into business. Of course, you're not going to get the A level. Not yet. These people are trying. And it's like, by going after people, oh, their art's not at this level, or the writing's not at that level, it's like, if they're doing a sincere effort and they're trying, the last thing they need is someone like you to bash them and to dissuade fans from following their books when at least they're trying. You know, yeah, they're not you. They're not a pro like you who's been in the business, like what, for 20 years plus, who keeps bragging about it. They're not you who's worked with the top writers in the business, okay? That doesn't mean that they're not worthy of a comic book. You know what I mean? It's like, instead of going after them, you might as well go after other independent creators who self-published years ago, before the 90s, right? Through that self-publishing and that trying that you get better. Okay? You get better as things go along, hopefully. And it's just like, I don't get EVS that he's going after independent creators on YouTube who haven't started with him, as far as I know, okay? He's going after them. It is a shame because I followed him. I liked a lot of his views. I liked a lot of his stuff years ago. But he seems to have gone off this direction that he's just wanting to attack others who are trying to make comic books. And it's like, is he the gatekeeper now? It's like, maybe when he says he's like, oh, he's been in the business 20 plus years and he's all of this, maybe it's got to his head, this whole Comicsgate thing, that now he's becoming the person he used to go against, you know? Anyway, that's just my ramble about it. I just don't like the fact that someone like him, pretty much a big authority figure, because of the respect and the heritage of his DC stuff, that he's going after independent creators who, again, who are not pros, but do you expect them to be at the A level at a Marvel or DC level? They're not, because if they were, Marvel or DC would have hired them. That doesn't mean they don't have a right to exist and make their own stuff. So it's like, my issue is, instead of going after these people, why not stick to going after Marvel or DC to improve their business? Or why don't you just be quiet, draw, and make your own comic books a month? And make more to get it to your fans. So that's my view on it, you know? And honestly, he's not going to watch this video, but if he does, not everyone likes Cyberfrog or that type of stuff. If he wants to, he's boxing himself into the Cyberfrog universe, just like Todd McFarlane boxed himself into the Spawn universe. Not everyone likes Spawn, so they're not going to buy the book, where if Todd McFarlane did a few other titles that are not Spawn related, maybe he'd get new followers. So for Ethan Van Sciver, I would say, maybe people don't like Cyberfrog. Maybe they're not interested in it. Maybe they like superheroes, like, I don't know, like Green Lantern or The Flash or someone. So why don't you just get a guy in a skin-tight costume who's a traditional type superhero and publish a superhero comic book set in the present day, either urban, something relatable, and make a comic book that could fit in the Marvel or DC world. Superhero related, guy in a costume, has some powers or some abilities, and why don't you just make that? Because I think Ethan Van Sciver, people would rather see a comic book superhero from you than Cyberfrog from you. And guess what? I'll tell you this right now. Ethan makes a superhero comic book and treats it serious, not a joke. That superhero comic book will sell better than Cyberfrog, because not everyone likes animals or just that whole genre that you have with Cyberfrog. People would rather see a superhero art from you, Ethan. I'll tell you right now, if you had Ethan Van Sciver between Cyberfrog and a superhero, I'll buy the superhero. That's straight up truth. And so will others. By boxing yourself into Cyberfrog only, you have limited your audience, just like Todd McFarlane limited his audience to make it only a Spawn property. Not everyone likes Spawn. If he'd done other stuff, he would have had more viewers. If you do other stuff, Ethan Van Sciver, other than Cyberfrog, and you get to superheroes again, make your own, they will sell better than Cyberfrog. That's just some real-world advice. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, audience. A ramble here, just thoughts I had to talk about, what I see going on in the YouTube community. Stay safe, my friends, and I'll talk to you later.